Hi, welcome to the College Credit Plus video for 25-26 school year. We're going to be going over a few things today. We're going to be talking about what is College Credit Plus, how do you know if you're eligible, some general information, some things we want you to consider, what kind of courses you can take, and then the steps to participate. So to start us off, what is CCP? College Credit Plus is a state of Ohio program that allows students in grades 7 through 12 to take college level courses for both high school and college credit. So it counts towards both their high school and college transcript. For CCP eligibility, a student must be in grades 7 through 12, they must be an Ohio resident, and they must be determined college ready by an institution of higher education. So one of the ways that they can do this is by being remediation free on an ACT or SAT or another assessment as chosen by the college, or they can have an unweighted GPA of 3.0, or they can have an unweighted GPA between 2.75 and 3.0 and receive an A or a B in a grade A or B grade in a relevant high school course. So for example, if a student wants to take Intro to English Composition and they have a 2.8 GPA and an A or a B in their English 9 class, then they will be permitted to take the Intro to Composition class. So some more things about college ready. It's not something that the colleges look at, but it is something that we ask parents and students to consider, and that is that there's more to being college ready than just being prepared academically. Students need to have the emotional and social skills necessary to make that transition and to meet college level expectations. You have to remember that your 15-year-old child is going to be sitting in a classroom with students who are 18, 19, 20, 21, depending on the course that they're taking, maybe even older depending on, what kind of course it is. So do you feel that your student is capable enough, is ready enough to be in that kind of environment? We also highly recommend that you take a look at your students' executive functioning. How are they with time management? How are they with organization? How are they when it comes to independently completing work? Because a lot of college courses are going to require them to have those executive functioning skills. So those aren't things that the college is going to say make a student eligible or not, but we do hope that parents and guardians consider those. So some general information about College Credit Plus, a student's schedule. So students can take courses at both Milford and at a CCP college, or they could attend one or the other full-time. So a student can be full-time CCP, doesn't step foot on Milford High School's campus, and only takes courses through their college for College Credit Plus. Students can also be part-time. They can come to school on red days and then take white days off to do Tuesday, Thursday classes through the college. Or they can do online classes for CCP and maybe have, 1 or 2 classes here that they have an early release or late arrival for to accommodate those courses. Students can take up to 30 credit hours. Students can take up to 30 credit hours per school year and up to 120 hours over the high school career. So any classes that are taken at Milford count towards that 30 hours per year. If you're taking 5 classes here at Milford, 5 full year classes here at Milford, that's the equivalent of 15 hours for the semester or for the year towards CCP. So students who are doing part-time need to keep that in mind. Advising, students will have access to their Milford school counselor. So the Milford school counselors will help with graduation requirements and managing Milford and CCP schedules. However, students also have their CCP advisor, and that is who they will go to when it comes to any class or professor issues or concerns. For the transcript, courses and grades are applied to both the high school and college transcript. So that means that the college transcript and that GPA will follow the student to any post-secondary education that they do. So if you do well in your CCP classes, you can start off with a good GPA, but if you do poorly, then you might start off college with a poor GPA. Could impact your scholarship eligibility, so something to keep in mind there. GPA bump. CCP courses are weighted based on the equivalent honors or AP course available in that subject area. So for example, if you are taking Psychology 101 at the college, that will get a GPA bump, the 0.030, because we have AP Psychology here. Students are still part of Milford High School, so they are still invited to attend all social events, graduation, walking in graduation. Student athletes can participate. So they are still Milford High School students. We do highly recommend, if you are a student athlete who plans to participate in Milford athletics, to discuss this with your counselor before we start the semester, because there are some eligibility concerns in making sure that you're taking enough courses and that we have the right information for you to be eligible for your sport. Some more important considerations: graduation requirements. If a student is participating in College Credit Plus through Milford High School, they must meet all Milford High School and State of Ohio graduation requirements. That goes for Milford students, current Milford students, and homeschool students who are enrolling for the purpose of participating in CCP. You have to meet all Milford High School and State of Ohio graduation requirements. State testing may be waived for science and social studies courses, but state testing is still mandatory for English 10 and Algebra 1, no matter what. And then you also must schedule an appointment with your Milford High School counselor before each semester to review your classes and schedule. Financial responsibilities. So Milford covers the cost of tuition and textbooks for CCP courses. This is a State of Ohio law that we do that. But in the event that you drop or fail a course, even if it's just a non-passing grade, you will be held financially responsible. So for example, if you're at University of Cincinnati taking a CCP course, it's about $500 for that 3 credit hour course, potentially even more with textbook reimbursement. So you do have to pay back if you do not pass, or if you withdraw, or if you get a failing grade, you'll be held financially responsible. You're also financially responsible for tuition and fees for courses extending above the 30-hour per year limit. So if you are a student and you hit 31 hours for the year, you will pay for the course that takes you over 30. So at 28 hours, that's when Milford would stop paying, and you would pay for the full 3 credit hour course that took you to 31. Unreconciled tuition balances may prevent a student from enrolling in future CCP courses. So if you do get charged because of a withdrawal, drop, failure, whatever it is, if you do that and then you don't pay the tuition balances, then you might not be able to enroll in the next semester's CCP courses. Some important considerations that we really want you to think about. Some benefits. You do earn college credit when you pass a course through CCP. So unlike AP, where you have to pass the exam, with College Credit Plus, as long as you pass the course, you earn the college credit. It definitely has high potential to reduce your time spent in college. If you're taking classes methodically, appropriately, then you can reduce the amount of time that you spend in college after high school graduation. It definitely gives you an opportunity to explore college and career pathways that interest you without having to worry about changing your major or any of that stuff. And then it helps you complete those general education requirements or prerequisites for Milford or college courses. So if you know you're interested in an engineering degree, and you know you want to get your general ed requirements out of the way so you can start engineering right away, CCP could be a good option for that. Now the risks, and I think I've mentioned this before, but it could have a negative impact on your GPA. So both college and high school GPAs. If you fail a calculus course at CCP, that F goes on to your transcript at Milford High School, and it also goes on to your UC transcript. So whenever you send that transcript off, if you don't attend UC, but you'll still have to send that transcript to your future college, you will take that GPA with you. It does have the potential to affect satisfactory academic progress at a college. So the SAP is something set up by the federal loans, by FAFSA and the federal loan systems. Basically, they're saying that students can earn a bachelor's degree in 180 hours. It can differ based on your major, but for example, 180 hours. And if you are over a certain number of hours, then you will not qualify for federal loans, federal scholarships. This has happened to CCP students who took multiple years of CCP full time while they were in high school, and now that they're at the college, they've impacted that satisfactory academic progress. Now, for the most part, when you appeal, it's going to get overturned in your favor. However, that takes time. So a lot of the students were saying, you know, I did appeal, it did get approved, but I still ended up paying for a semester of college that I shouldn't have had to, out of my own pocket, just because it took too long, and I didn't want to take a semester off while I was waiting for the information. So that's something to consider if you're going to be taking courses in the, you know, double-digit credits. Make sure that you're taking appropriate courses. You can work with your college advisor on that one. Withdrawal or failure leads to financial responsibility. I covered that on the other slide. If you withdraw from a course after the deadline, fail to receive a non-passing grade, you will be held financially responsible. There are some out-of-state and private school admissions considerations. You know, an Ivy League on the East Coast is going to recognize what a student had to do well in AP computer science, for example, and they're going to understand what they had to do well for an AP US history. They are not necessarily going to be able to equate that to a college credit plus computer science or a college credit plus American history course. They technically should receive the same rigor consideration if it's an out-of-state or private school. We just can't guarantee that. In-state Ohio schools absolutely will consider CCP and AP as equivalents. Some more important considerations. So study time is going to be less at the high school level and high school courses. And then college, it's not necessarily homework, it's consistent studying. So for each hour of class, students need to be spending consistent time studying and reading for those college courses. It's not necessarily going to come in the form of homework assignments, but in order to do well, you want to spread that information out. Knowledge acquisition, so information in high school classes is provided mostly in class, and then the assignments kind of review what was covered. At the college level, it's a lot of out-of-class work in advance, and then in-class discussion. So a lot of reading your textbooks or doing an assignment, and then coming in ready to discuss that when you come into the class. Tests in high school are given more frequently. In college, they're less frequent. They're going to cover more material. Grades for high school, you're usually going to have a lot of assignments, quizzes, tests, homework assignments, participation, etc. College courses typically have fewer grades, making those assignments, tests, etc. more important as far as grading goes. This one's really, really important for parents and guardians to understand. When your student is attending high school classes, you get to advocate, you're involved, you get to work with teachers, you get to work with the counselors. You can take on a pretty in-depth role when it comes to supporting your student. When students are at college classes, they are college students, even if it's a CCP student. They are considered college students, and the student is the responsible party. So that means that parents and guardians are more of a mentor or a support character for the student and are not going to be able to interact with the student's professors or even maybe their advisor. They might be able to attend advising meetings, but highly unlikely that a professor is going to interact with a parent or guardian. When it comes to accommodations, same thing. Parents can be involved and students can be involved in working with the high school staff, and then they have an IEP or a 504 plan in place, and that is covered covered by, school staff. It's required for school staff to do those accommodations. Laws do not apply to colleges the same. So there is not the same legal requirements at the college level for accommodations as there are at the high school. Students have to work directly with college staff to determine if the accommodations are needed, and sometimes they'll be denied. And then they might discuss your IEP or 504 plan as a part of that determination, but it's not something that they have to follow or that they choose to follow every time. So you have to work with the disability services or the Office of Disability Services at your college to do that. And that is, again, is going to be primarily on the student. A parent or guardian can provide help and mentoring to the student on how to advocate for themselves, but they're really going to be working with students. So when it comes to coursework, what kind of coursework can you take for CCP? So those first 15 hours, as long as it falls in one of these categories, you can take it. If it's a transferable course, meaning it has a C tag or other tag on it, you can take it during those first 15 hours. That's something you can see in the college's course selection guide. STEM courses are going to be courses in computer science, IT, anatomy and physiology, anything like that can be taken during the first 15 hours. Any world language, including American Sign Language. A lot of colleges are coming up with model pathways, which are 15 credit hour or 30 credit hour pathways that are aligned with their bachelor's degrees or associate's degrees, or some sort of certificate program. And so those model pathways, if it falls on the 15 credit hour, you can take that. Technical certificates, so some students want to go and they want to get their STNA certifications from Cincinnati State. Those courses are all a part of designated technical programs, so you can take those courses during your first 15 hours. And then other courses might be courses in study skills, academic or career success skills, or internship courses. All of those are permitted for the first 15 hours. After that first 15 hours, it's pretty much wide open. You can take any level 2 course, any course for which you meet the prerequisites for at that college. If it's a certificate, so continuing courses for a certificate program, and then a degree. Any continuing courses for a degree pathway that you started in level 1, you can take after your first 15 hours. So some non-allowable courses. These are courses you cannot take through CCP. Any course that has one-to-one instruction. So any applied courses with one-to-one instruction are a no. Any course with a high fee, $750 or more, that's a no. And I will be straight here, I'm pretty sure that the only class I've seen with high enough fees to meet this category is like aviation flight classes. So other aviation book classes would count, but the flight ones are the only ones I've ever seen have high enough fees. Anything that's study abroad is a no, not allowable. Any PE courses, so no physical education courses, can be taken through CCP. Any course that's considered a sectarian religious course cannot be taken through CCP. You could choose to pay for that course. You could actually choose to pay for any of these courses. But Milford will not cover the cost of these courses. And then anything else, if it is a course that starts off with a pass-fail or satisfactory, unsatisfactory graded course, unless it's an internship or a transferable course, that you would not be able to take any course that doesn't have like a normal grading scale. And then remedial courses are also not allowed. So if you're taking, an intro to math course so you can qualify for college algebra, that remedial course to get you ready does not count and can't be taken. So what happens if you don't do well? So students are considered underperforming if they have a lower than 2.0 cumulative GPA. They are also considered underperforming if they withdraw from or receive no credit from 2 courses in 1 term. And then the consequence of that, of meeting either one of those characteristics, the consequence is CCP probation, where the student may only take 1 course for the following CCP term. A student becomes ineligible if they have a lower than 2.0 cumulative GPA for 2 or more consecutive terms, or if the student is considered underperforming for 2 or more consecutive terms. So the consequence, if it's 2 or more consecutive terms, then the consequence is CCP dismissal. That means that the student didn't raise their GPA, and they can be dismissed from the CCP program for the following term. You can appeal these to the counseling office or to the Milford Board of Education or the Milford Central Office, but these are the rules. And at this point, if your student is in this situation, you're most likely having to pay pretty high fees. You might want them to take a break before they try again. So having that at least 1 term off is not necessarily a bad thing. We do have to note from the state of Ohio that the subject matter of a course enrolled in under the CCP program may include mature subject matter or materials, including those of a graphic, explicit, violent, or sexual nature, and they will not be modified based on CCP enrollee participation, regardless of where course instruction occurs. So if a student's taking an online course or taking a course on UC's campus, they are not going to change the content of a course just because there's a high school CCP student in that course. This is part of why I say please consider whether your student is emotionally and socially ready to take a course, a college level course. So 5 steps to participate if you are interested in being a CCP student. The first thing that you need to do is complete your Milford College Credit Plus letter of intent. The link is up here on the page, and that Milford letter of intent is due April 1st. That is a hard deadline, so we will not make exceptions for that. If you don't have your letter in by April 1st, you do not get to participate in the following school year. Letter of intent. The second step that you need to take, that is for Milford, so let me be really clear here. Letter of intent is for Milford. It tells Milford Exempted Village School District that you are planning to participate in College Credit Plus for the 25-26 school year. Okay, that's for Milford. Your next step is to find a college and apply. So there's lots, all public 2- and 4-year colleges offer CCP, and then there's also private schools that offer it as well. You can see on this link here where Milford students have taken classes, and if you need more information, you just visit that college's website. UC, Sinclair, Southern State, there's several more that we've had students at: Miami, University of Toledo, Bowling Green. So really any public 2- or 4-year college offers it. You can go anywhere you want. You'll just need to find a college and apply. That's usually going to be anytime between now and May 15th when those applications are open. You'll want to make sure you're completing the College Credit Plus application. Next step, so you turn in your letter of intent, you apply to the college. You're going to get an email from the college saying, hey, welcome, you've been accepted. You are now UC CCP student. Here are the instructions on how to register for classes. This typically takes place over the summer, and then in November and December leading up to second semester, you can register for classes. We provided a CCP course crosswalk, which is basically a document that shows classes that you can take, what those classes equal when it comes to Milford High School classes, how Milford students have done on those classes historically, and then which courses you'll need to meet your Milford graduation requirements. You can also see Ohio's CCP crosswalk. That's also linked here. Registration is depending on the college as far as when it takes place, so you'll need to make sure you're communicating with your college advisor. Next step is going to be to meet with your Milford counselor. So you'll schedule an appointment with your school counselor to review your course selections and update your Milford High School schedule. Your counselor is likely going to start reaching out to CCP students starting August 1st for the first semester, but make sure you contact them if you haven't heard from them before school starts. So if you haven't heard from your counselor by August 10th, you should be contacting them. Step 5, this can and should be done anytime. You need to notify your counselor of any changes. If there are any changes to your registered classes, you need to notify your counselor right away. We ask that you do it before you make the changes officially, so we can help you determine if there are any unforeseen consequences. For example, if you drop your math class first semester of senior year, you may have to come and take that class here at the high school in person because it might be a graduation requirement. So if you tell us beforehand, we can help you kind of figure out what that means. But if you don't tell us until after, we have to scramble, and sometimes there's not enough time to get it done before graduation. So homeschool students, really one extra additional step for homeschool students. Homeschool students need to register at Milford High School to attend. You can call the central office anytime to register. We recommend that you do it before August 1st, but preferably in April or May. And then you follow those same other steps. Complete the letter of intent, which is due April 1st to Milford High School. You can apply to the college of your choice. Those deadlines vary based on the college. You'll register for classes at your college. Again, those timelines vary based on the college. And then you'll meet with your Milford counselor in August and notify your Milford counselor of any changes that you make after that. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out. You can contact me at emmons_e@milfordschools.org. I also listed our website there, bit.ly/Milford Counseling. If you go to our website, underneath academic programs and College Credit Plus, you'll be able to see this presentation, some shortened videos. All the links that are in the presentation are available there as well. And I think that pretty much covers it. Let us know if you need anything. Thanks.